So 5 minutes ago it was like sunny and like 40 degrees out. Now it's a whiteout and probably still only about 38 degrees. But we got some good news. We got the pump. So now we just got to figure out how to sled it a quarter mile back to our place.
So far it's not easy.
Is there another part to this?
That's all I saw. So today we are installing the simple pump.
Yeah, so we're just looking at, this is the well cap that we need to install before we get the pump in there, because the pump rods and all that stuff is going to go right through here. So we're going to take off our old well cap and put this on. I'm just looking over all the parts that need to be installed beforehand, before we get the actual pump in there, because there's a few parts that need to be installed before we do that.
Also, it's really snowy out, and we don't want to lose any little pieces. That would just be very stressful.
Stupid. Alright.
Alright, step 1 of simple pump installation. Right?
Yep.
It's
Well, it came with a special well cap. So this is so we can install our submersible well pump eventually. So this right here is for conduit, for wiring, because there's a pitless adapter. And oh boy, hopefully our pitless adapter is on this side. I didn't think of that, but this is the configuration of the original well cap. So I'm assuming that the pitless adapter is over on this side. We actually don't have an adapter, but there should be a hole in the well casing where the pitless adapter goes into. If worst case scenario, our pitless adapter isn't on this side, the simple pump is relatively easily lifted up and taken out. It's basically just a reverse of the installation. So worst case scenario, we just take that apart, rotate this to wherever it needs to go, and put our pitless there. But fingers crossed that this is where it is.
Yeah, today is super cold, super windy. We had a huge windstorm last night. It's sunny, but it feels like -10 maybe. Negative something.
Yeah, the wind chill this morning was like -25. So
Yeah. So we're really excited to get water in.
So right now I'm just going over all the items that were shipped, making sure that we have everything. So these are all the drop pipes, and inside them are sucker rods, stainless steel sucker rods, or actually fiberglass sucker rods. Then all the other hardware is stainless steel. It looks to be really, really good quality. Simple Pump makes a lot of these themselves. They machine most of it themselves. It's really good quality stainless steel. It even came with a no lead pressure gauge. So we probably won't hook this up today. There's a little plug we can put. We'll just put that in. Yeah, but everything looks really good. So far, we have everything, and they even give you a little bit of Teflon tape. That's pretty cool. We're gonna clean all this with bleach, diluted bleach solution.
This is our bleach. We're going to use a rag, run it through with a rope.
Right, and we're gonna clean out all the stuff that's going to be touching the water, because we don't want any contamination in our water, with a diluted bleach water solution, like 1 part water to 20 parts bleach. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll give it all a rinse, with another wet rag with water, and then we should be ready to go and install it.
We're doing this all inside, by the way, because it is freezing outside and our bleach water solution was freezing, so we just didn't want our rags and all the bleach to freeze, and especially when we have to rinse it again, that wouldn't be very fun, especially when you don't have running water. So yeah, this is the first adventure.
So the first step is, here's the pump cylinder. We're going to connect this sucker rod, female end, to the male end of this pump cylinder. We're going to go do this outside, but while we're wiping everything down, I just wanted to show you guys these two pieces. We're about to go outside and start the installation. So stick around while we get the rest of this thing installed, and you'll see us get some water soon. Alright, so the only tools you really need for the installation are a couple pairs of vice grips. I used 2 crescent wrenches, or adjustable wrenches rather, for the well cap installation. Simple Pump sends you this little tool that comes in real handy, you'll see that in a second, and a set of Allen wrenches. I'm going to be a little quick about this because it's really cold out, but right now we're going to install the pump cylinder to the first sucker rod. You'll see what those are in a minute. So I'm just going to get this started. Now we can use our vice grips. I'm just going to get these snugged up so that they're shoulder to shoulder. Don't want to over tighten them. That looks to be about good. So the next step is warm up your hands, put them in your pocket. So the next step is we're going to get this drop pipe over the sucker rod, and I think I'm not going to drop this in. There's a little bit of resistance, which is good, and I'm going to have Shakoi, you'll see how it goes. She's going to put the camera down, and we're going to put that drop pipe over the sucker rod. So now what we're doing is we're threading this pump cylinder onto this drop pipe, and we don't want more than 5/8 of an inch of engagement, because that's going to mess with the top sucker rods. On the it says get it hand tight and then do about half a turn past hand tight. So I've already got my 5/8 inch mark right there, and that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to have this handy. This slips right over this, and you'll see why that's handy. We're going to hold it right there, we're going to leave it there, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this the pump cylinder in this now. We're going to hold tight here because there's a little bit of resistance, but once it goes past right there, so here's where this comes in handy. You put this here, and this prevents the whole assembly from falling through. So no matter what I do, that's not going down. Now ideally we should have 4 to 6 inches of this right here. It's a little bit over 6 because I've got the sucker rod at the very bottom of the pump. Got that lifted a little bit, so the ball at the bottom of the piston can accept water as it goes into the pump. The simple pump sends you really detailed, and it says at one point you may encounter something called vapor lock, and that's if the sucker rod at the very bottom of the pump isn't lifted. Hydrostatic pressure might prevent you from being able to lift that pump. So we want to be able to get water in that cylinder. So the first section is installed, and after that it should be pretty easy. Something I can foresee us encountering is just a little bit of ice from maybe a wet spot on our after we rinsed on these threads, but we're gonna make sure we've got a bucket of hot water here that we will use to make sure everything goes smoothly. So the next thing we're going to do is send you these. They also send you these, and this keeps this sucker rod centered in these drop pipes. So that goes right down there in this female end, and we're ready to install the next section. We've got 7 to go, so we're not going to film the whole thing, just so we can get it going. But basically, there's another one of these with a female end. It threads right onto here. Another drop pipe, PVC drop pipe, like you just saw, that goes right over, threads into here until we get to the top. So we're gonna get that going, and when we assemble the pump head, we'll show you guys that. So stick around. We've got our last section of drop pipe in here. This last section has a weep hole about 5 feet below grade. So that allows the water to drain from the pump, from the pump head, and this first section of drop pipe assembly. So that way the water doesn't freeze in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to install a small little coupling, whatever you want to call it, this threaded one right into here, and after that we're going to set the pump itself, or set the pump head itself. Ooh, yeah, one second, here, hold this. Crisis averted. So this little, as you saw, this little tool wasn't exactly where it needed to be sitting, so that was a close one. Crisis averted though. So yeah, as I was saying, we're gonna set the actual pump head assembly, and then we'll be ready to go and we'll have water. So we're gonna set the tripod back up and get it going.
Right now Michael is setting the pump rod, which goes inside the pump head. He's tightening it.
That's where she lives. So this is the pump head, and Shikoi wants it. She wants to pump this way.
Because the garden is over there. So if I do decide to run a hose, And the angle is just very comfortable. There's the house.
You can talk on when I'm reading. So this is the last part as far as the whole drop pipe goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this safety tool, and as soon as this section goes in the well cap and we get it to a reasonable height, I'm going to have Shikoi tighten this cinch bolt right here on the split flange. And after she tightens that, the pump should go nowhere. It's not gonna, even if it falls through this pump head at the top of this riser tube, will prevent it from going all the way down. But this is the trickiest part about it. I guess it's not going to go any further. Or if you want to loosen it, I can try to go further. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Snug that baby. Oh. And so yeah. So that's basically it, and our pump is pretty installed. Now the last thing to do is install the handle, which we will show you guys when it is installed. I don't think we need to cover that process, but we'll show you the handle anyway. Here's the handle, and it mounts here, and it mounts there. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll show you guys when it's all ready.
We have water! This is so amazing! Wow. What is it, Coda? What is it?